1. A career is a marathon, not a sprint. Chill. When we are younger, we tend to be impatient. As you get older, you realize there is no real rush. Life, and the careers we pursue to fill it and pay the bills, needs to be approached on a long-term basis. If you sprint, you will wear out or start to resent work that you previously enjoyed. Allow yourself time to breathe and grow. Things will come if you work hard and allow yourself time to get good at things. Always rushing only leaves you empty and tired. It is fine to give yourself permission to take some time in the slow lane with the hack people. You will find yourself seeing things on the journey that you didn't realize were there. 2. Most success comes from repetition, not new things. I remember Australian hairdressing legend Stephen Ackery telling me this in 2003. I had never really thought about it before. A few years later, Malcolm Gladwell's brilliant book Outliers was published, promoting the idea that you needed to spend 10,000 hours on something to become truly expert at it. This applied to the Beatles and their Hamburg gigs and Bill Gates, who, through a series of fortuitous accidents, ended up spending more time than almost anyone else on a computer. The lesson here is get good at things before you try to move to the next thing. Genuine expertise belongs to an elite few. They seldom have superpowers. They usually have endurance, patience, and take a long-term view. They also love what they do. If you find that, don't let it go. 3. If work was really so great, all the rich people would have the jobs. It is well established that almost nobody laments on their deathbed that they didn't spend enough time at the office. This seems obvious. Work is important, but it is not the only thing. It is easy to lose perspective and let fairly trivial, urgent issues keep us from important life events. I can remember every major event in my kids' lives that I missed. I can't remember any of the reasons I missed them. 4. Deprioritize your career when your kids are young. If you have skills, commitment, and passion, careers tend to take care of themselves. Over the long haul, it really doesn't matter if you have a few years when your career is in canter mode while you prioritize young children. I was watching some video of my kids when they were little last week, and I realized, again, that the little people in that video don't exist in that form anymore. They have grown into pride-worthy adults, but the tiny people with wonder in their eyes were just passing through. If you miss that time meeting deadlines and finishing reports, you never get it back. Childhood is fleeting. When it is in its formative stages, you get one chance. You can also miss the chance to learn. Children teach you a lot more than you teach them. They give you a second chance to see the world for the first time through their eyes. And you will be astounded what you miss in the clutter of life. Hold on to those times while you can. As the nun sang in The Sound of Music, you can't keep a wave upon the sand. And you look kinda ridiculous trying. 5. In the workforce, always act like you are 35. A recruiter gave me this advice some years ago. It is quite inspired. What she meant was, when you are young in the workplace, don't act as a novice. If you are smart and competent, step up and do whatever you are capable of doing in a mature way. Similarly, when you are an older worker, don't act like it. Approach your day with youthful energy. To quote a famous Frank Sinatra song, "You're 35 and it's a very good year." 6. Management is about people, not things. It is easy to fall into the trap of believing that all people are equal, behave the same every day, and have a generic capacity to perform. Humans are simply not made like that. Business guru Jack Welch says the workforce consists of 20% of people who are high performers, 10% that you should get rid of, and 70% who do okay. The problem is the 70%. Most managers want everyone in the 20%. We need to be careful not to believe that the 70% are underperformers. Sometimes we need to celebrate the competence of the masses, not the superpowers of the elite. As managers, we are not managing things. We are empowering people and making the best use of whatever it is they bring to the table. 7. Genuinely listen to others. It is easy to fall into the trap of thinking we have all the answers as individuals. We don't. As a group, we are far more powerful. We need to learn to genuinely collaborate and really listen to the opinions of others. And we need to ask our own people first. So many managers and firms fall into the trap of asking outsiders for answers first and then trying to implement the recommendations without the buy-in of tried and true employees. In almost every case, our own people already know the answers. We need to avoid letting familiarity blind us to the talent sitting around us. 8. Never work for horrible bosses. Life is way too short to tolerate really bad bosses. If you find yourself working for one, start looking for a new job. Immediately. Then sack the bad boss. By leaving. 9. Recognize that staff are people with finite emotional capacity. This is one I really wish I had known earlier. It is clear to me now that humans have a finite emotional capacity. If there is something challenging happening in their personal lives, they have limited capacity left to deal with issues at work. In nearly 100% of cases I have dealt with of people suddenly underperforming at work, it has nothing to do with work. When good people have problems, managers and companies need to carry them. This should be a personal mission. If we learn to carry people when they most need it, we become a stronger community and we empower people in ways that we probably can't imagine when we are young. A reinvigorated broken employee is a corporation's most powerful force. They become a slightly better version of themselves without the need for a V energy drink. 10. Don't just network with people your own age. Beware the whiz kid syndrome. Smart, young people have a habit of forming communities of other smart young people and feeding off each other's energy. In the older world they are seen as bright young things that give confidence that the future is in good hands. Arg. How many times have you heard that? Youth enclaves can actually be restrictive. Smart 20-somethings should make sure they network with older people too. In fact, their networking should be about meeting useful mentors and career champions who can open doors and fast-track careers. Similarly, older, successful people shouldn't just sit in musty clubs talking about the 1970s. They should be proactively seeking out smart, young people who can shake them out of their comfort zone and open their eyes to new ideas.